Super fight coming up this Saturday. Terence Crawford versus Canelo Alvarez. Let's talk about it.
Ain't been tight, never known curfews. Sunday night quiet, I ain't even out my church shoes. I done been wide, premarital guessing perfumes. Psychoing a lot, they keep asking me who hurt you. Traded for diapers, ain't that some shit? You think buying beers and pacifiers made me a pacifist? There's a list of asses that I like to whip. In this timeline, mid-frames the bad guy shit. Go ahead.
Hey, yo, welcome to Sports World Talk, where we talk the world of sports. And today we're talking Canelo Alvarez versus Terence Crawford coming up this Saturday night. One of the biggest fights of this whole year, and I think it will be a great showdown. Now, both fighters are, great in their own right. Canelo has only lost two, which was to Floyd Mayweather and recently to Bivol a couple years ago. But Crawford, no losses. He had an amazing showdown against Errol Spence Jr. a couple years ago that still has Errol not even in the ring yet since then. So that's why me personally, I feel that this is the toughest competition that Canelo has faced since Triple G. I think this is going to be a big surprise to a lot of people. Bud, he loves the fact that people underestimate him. He loves being an underdog going into a fight like this right here. And I think he's looking at it as being, like he said himself, being able to fight one of the last great boxers available. Right now, besides Canelo, who is it available? They are, not too far off in age. I think the mindset both guys will have to go in there. One for Bud is, can I handle that hit? Can I take the hit, from Canelo and still go my whole game plan? Canelo, I think he would have to definitely try to hurt him first. What I mean is, if Crawford isn't respecting him too much. Some boxers can go in there, he's respecting him too much. Why are you respecting him so much? Like I would say Mario, what's his name? Mario Barrios. He respected Manny Pacquiao way too much. He should have went in there and got more shots, and it could have been a better fight, I feel personally. I don't want Crawford to go in there with a mindset like that. I don't think he would go in there with a mindset like that. I think Crawford is going to go in there looking to, take that hit, see how it feels, and then go with his game plan. Being that guy moving around, making that flat-footed boxer like Canelo, awkward or anything like that. But Canelo, like I said, he's gonna have to hurt him first, or at least sting him. I feel, because you do that, and Crawford, someone who's not used to that type of power on that weight level, could start to, okay, all right, let me regress my game plan, I think it's going to be a great match. I think a lot of people say the weight could be a big issue. But if you look at it, the man Roy Jones Jr. said it recently in a podcast. He said, if you look at Bud, his walking around weight looks like it'd be around high 170, mid 180 or something like that, his walking around weight. So basically all that is not going past, the actual fight weight. He cut down, you just cut down, get to your weight. It's a lesser cut down, basically. It's not someone like how Tank, let's say if Tank was going to fight at that weight, he has to go up because Tank walk around weight it's not around 180 or nothing like that, 170. It's probably, me guessing, 145, 150, if that, you know what I mean? That's his walking around weight, So someone like him would have to really put in that work to actually eat more, get bigger and stuff like that. With Bud, he has to just get down to fight weight, maintain, and work on performance, And seeing recent pictures, cut up, I definitely think he's taking it seriously right now, But, I think Canelo as well, for him to take this fight is really big. It's really big for him. It's really big for boxing in general, because you don't see a lot of fights like this come around too often. You know what I mean? So I think he's definitely, brave enough to go in the ring with somebody like him. That means he's not going to take this lightly. He wants to show people, hey, I can still put a show on. You know what I mean? Because I admittedly have said that maybe his past few fights have been a little bit boring. It's kind of like, he's so smart, he can win off of points. And he's just there, go the distance and stuff like that. And you want to see a little more. I definitely want to see a little more. And I think with him versus Bud Crawford. Bud had a big fight a couple years ago against Earl Spence Jr. It was definitely a fight I was not expecting to go away. It did. I'm not saying I didn't. I thought Bud would win, but not like that. You know, Earl still hasn't came back and gotten to the ring yet. You know, I definitely want to see a good fight. If I had to pick somebody right now, I'm going with Bud. Something is pulling me to Bud. I think one person will be knocked down, not knocked out. I don't think it'll end in a knockout. I think it'll go to decision, and I think Bud will get it. And the reason I say that, I think Bud is, like I said, he has a speed. He has great footwork. Footwork is something that kind of, at times throws Canelo off. You know what I mean? I feel that he will bring his footwork, he'll bring his speed in there, and he will still carry the power. I don't say he had knocked Canelo out. Canelo's too great for that. But I do think Bud will get the rounds. So that's my decision on who I think will win the super fight this coming up week. Let me know what you think. Do you think it will be the man, Canelo Alvarez, or do you think Terence Bud Crawford will get the win? Let me know, and let's talk about it.
There's a list of asses that I like to whip. In this timeline, it frames the bad guy shit. Go ahead and